Be good is her name, and I sing my lion song and brush my mane.
Hi guys, and welcome to episode number 3 of the History of Music. Today we will be talking about jazz music and what it has to offer for us in the future. Jazz developed in the United States in the very early part of the 20th century. New Orleans, near the mouth of Mississippi River, played a key role in this development. The city's population was more diverse than anywhere else in the South, and people of African, French, Caribbean, Italian, German, Mexican, and American Indian, as well as English descent, interacted with one another. African American music traditions mixed with others, and gradually jazz emerged into a blend of ragtime, marches, blues, and other kinds of music. At first, jazz was mostly for dancing. In years later, people would just sit and listen to it. After the first recordings of jazz were made in 1917, the music spread widely and developed rapidly. The evolution of jazz was led by a series of brilliant musicians such as Louis Armstrong, Duke Ellington, Charlie Parker, and Miles Davis. Jazz developed a series of different styles, including traditional jazz, swing, bebop, cool jazz, and jazz rock, among others. At the same time, jazz spread from the United States to many parts of the world, and today jazz musicians and jazz festivals can be found in dozens of nations. Jazz is one of the United States' greatest exports to the world. Now, what is jazz? Jazz is a kind of music in which improvisation takes typically an important part. In most jazz performances, players play solos which they make up on the spot, which requires considerable skill, which means there is tremendous variety in jazz. But most jazz is very rhythmic, has a forward momentum called swing, and uses bent or blues notes. There has been an array of different and some very singular voices in jazz's long and storied history, and all of them jostle for position among the best jazz singers of all time, from big, loud, robust ones such as the blues-influenced shouters Bessie Smith, Joe Williams, and Jimmy Rushing, right down to delicate and refined songbirds, vividly exemplified by blossom dairies and girlish pipes. And in between those two extremes, you'll find vocal gymnasts, Jon Hendricks, Al Jarreau, and Bobby McFerrin spring to mind, along with golden voices balladeers whose calling card is a smouldering sensuality, think Peggy Lee, Julie London, Johnny Hartman, Chet Baker, Chris Connor, and Cassandra Wilson. There were some singers such as Frank Sinatra, Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, Nat King Cole, and Mark Murphy, who were multidisciplined and could combine a vibrant athleticism with a silky, lush delivery, so that they were adept at both up-tempo material and ballads. And then there are those haunted souls named Billie Holiday, Nina Simone, and Anita O'Day, whose troubled personal lives imbued their performances with a poignant emotional dimension that had a cathartic effect on their listeners. As for the future, some new styles of jazz will increasingly incorporate technology. Computers and electronic instruments that we have not yet imagined will become part of jazz's future. Technology will increasingly allow people to create jazz, or at least jazz-like music, without ever having to learn how to play an instrument, which is much more time-consuming. As always, now let's look at what some youngsters have to say about what the history of jazz and the jazz genre in general means to them. So in one word, please describe the following genres, okay? Just the first word that comes to mind. Jazz.
Relaxing.
Trumpet.
Stevie Wonder.
1920s.
Smooth.
Okay, so on to the next section now. I'm going to mention those exact same genres again, and I want you to say whether they have a future in music with just a yes or no answer.
No.
No.
Yes.
Yeah. As always, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and stay tuned for episode number 4, in which we will talk about the history of pop music. Let's try and get 50 likes for this episode, and until next time, I've been your host Shane White. Peace out.